this, you know, Saudi Arabia team is probably the most aggressive and mechanical team you could put together on paper, which is kind of cool. Very, very exciting potential coming out of this squad. Dark's been the talk of the town recently in the world of ones. He's been innovating and he's been pushing the boundaries of what is considered viable. I think he comes in as the underdog to this match. Toxic recently has been extremely consistent, and I think he has the capability to defend against Dark well enough and just break him down with ground shots and flicks. Toxic's flicks are up there with some of the best in the world. We've already seen one be denied, but the ground shot would be. And Toxic goes up 1-0. Thanks to Itby Kilo for the 8-month prime, by the way. How you doing? He said Jack can do it. Well, unfortunately he couldn't. And Merchant, thanks to the 30-month prime. Welcome back to you as well. And also the 7-month year one from Ayahart. Is it Ayahart or Lahart? I can't tell because it's all lowercase. But welcome back either way. Yeah, do you guys think that this is another one of those series where if the offensive player plays well enough, they just win because they're you know, going to be in control naturally if they can get their game plan to work? Or do you guys think that this is just going to be Toxic favored regardless of what Dark does? I think it might be just a Toxic favored series, personally. Even if Dark peaks, I think Toxic can still beat him. Because the Dark's peak that we've seen up until now, it worked against you know, Daniel. It nearly worked against First Killer. But those were players who aren't quite as familiar with that type of play, and I think Toxic's a little bit more familiar with this. He knows what he's up against, and I think he's got the tools to beat it. Well, let's see how he does against Dark's first big play of the game. Triple reset, quad reset. Toxic denies it. It did go in quite low to the goal. Dark's attempted wave dash recovery has completely fallen apart. Toxic's up 2-0. If Dark pops off like versus Daniel and he takes this easily, I don't know if he does take it easily if he pops off like he did against Daniel. I think I'm saying even if Dark pops off to that level, even if he scores like a million bangers and just starts racing super fast to every ball, I don't think you know, Toxic isn't. He's never struck me as a player who's gonna struggle with a really mechanical player. Like Toxic's very quick and he's quite good at counter-punching stylistically, so I mean there's an example of it. You know, Toxic sees an early challenge coming and he just drops the ball under to win the 50-50. He's just a very good player absorbing pressure. I feel like Toxic, you know, when I do see him struggle, it's more against the players who are just able to beat him out positionally and, you know, match his level of consistency while also posing a more diverse offensive threat. That's a great shot by Dark. A lot harder than it looks, this one, to nip into the corner, grab the boost, and then quickly air roll to shoot on target. I mean, that is a perfect hit to get his opening goal of the game. You know, I'm not trying to diminish Dark's achievement of beating Daniel by saying that I think Toxic's a favourite even if he peaks, even if Dark peaks. I think if Daniel and Dark played again, I would say the same thing about Daniel, because I think Daniel's, you know, he's underperformed recently in ones. Couple of losses, like I think he lost to Chronic on Fear's stream and he lost to Dark on my stream. Of course, a couple of performances that for him are disappointing, but I still rate him highly, and I think I'd still predict him to win in a rematch. That's a great try by Dark, but how's the ball going to sit for him? It's a tough angle and he misses it. Well, he did a lot there, but not quite enough. The post was not kind to him. More multiple reset plays coming out, but Toxic's able to get back to the ball quickly there. Stop Dark before anything can really get going. And again, Toxic spots an opportunity to close the distance. He's mixing in those standoff defensive plays with a couple of proactive defensive plays. Toxic. Look at this, reset. And a goal for the Englishman, so he's put in a flip reset goal before Dark does in this game. You know, so far I can't say I'm surprised by how this one's going. I think we've seen signs of Dark's mechanical brilliance, but Toxiic is just patiently waiting for him to finish touching the ball. And if he sees an opportunity to go, he goes and puts in a good challenge. Just consistent play. Toxiic is one of the players, if you're trying to, you know, rank up in ones, if you're trying to become a better ones player, he's one of the easier players to emulate, and one of the better players, I think, to try and copy. If you're trying to rank up in ones, I wouldn't recommend copying what Dark does. It's kind of a don't try this at home situation. Toxic's playstyle is just so consistent. It's one of the best playstyles for ranked. One of the best playstyles to go up against different kind of opponents. Okay, well, we see another very interesting exchange there, and this is probably one aspect that Toxiic will have a much better answer for than Daniel did when he played against Dark, and that is the kickoff game. So Daniel and I think First Killer as well, they hadn't really seen anyone with Dark's fake kickoffs before, especially the fake kickoff on the offset spawn, slight offset spawn, and they fell for it most of the time that Dark played for it. But Toxiic is not going to fall for that. He's seen it before, he's played against it before, he knows how to spot it, and he's just got a very bulletproof kickoff game as well, as he flicks in a 7th goal, crushing game 1 for Toxiic here. And Dark will forfeit. Let's take another look at that replay before we end the game here. But GG. I accidentally removed Dark's goal there. I'll give it back. I almost made it 7-0 before manually ending the game. Yeah, Dark just couldn't get the finishing touches on the majority of his big plays in this game. He just couldn't get that last flip reset to pose a threat. Toxiic defended well enough, and yeah, I think Dark can definitely level up from this game 1 performance. There's no question about that. He can put in undefendable shots against anyone, and he didn't put in many undefendable shots in this. Well, he only put in 1. He didn't really put many difficult to defend shots compared to his usual high impeccable standards. But we'll see what he can produce in game 2. Toxic's definitely got his number on the kickoff so far, and he's got his number with the ground game. And his defense has been more than a match for Dark today. Swag Frog, thanks for the 27-month tier 1. Welcome back to the channel. Sombra52, thanks for the 7-month tier 1 as well. And TTY Sam, thanks for the 3-month prime. Appreciate the support, guys. Oh, what a mind game. Toxic's going to put himself up by 2. And this is a very safe mind game by the Englishman as well. You'll notice how he leans completely back away from the ball there. So even if Dark does decide to hit the ball, Toxic's going to control that engagement. He's going to keep the ball close to him, using the underside of the car to cushion the blow. And the fact that Dark's launching himself into the position with no boost will usually lead to Toxiic having control. Another reset attempted by Dark, and another miss by Dark. Well, this is not going well for him. We were wondering if he was going to start to connect with his big aerial plays, but they've actually gotten worse. This is a clean whiff. Toxiic was in position to collect it. Proddy, welcome back with 35-month prime. Now, will that impact Dark's confidence? I feel like some of the misses that he had in the first game, they were mostly good plays. The quad reset and the triple reset that he attempted, they were good right up until the last reset where he just failed on the execution slightly. So I don't think that would have impacted his confidence too much. But that complete whiff on a flip reset play, a single reset, that could be something that makes him think twice about aerialing from distance. Toxiic just casually walking the ball past Dark here. He's just taking the ball for a stroll in the park while Dark lunges in and misses. Toxiic didn't even need to look and see where Dark was. He just knew there was a likelihood that the challenge is coming. So far, he has shown that he is not just capable, but aware of Dark's tendencies and ready to counter them if given the opportunity. Toxiic looking to control the play here in the back corner. Dark just trips him up on the exit. And will he attempt a big aerial play from the back corner here? I think he wanted to, but the ball actually bounced off the wall, and now he's missed the catch on the ground as well. Well, Dark's first touch has not been there for him in the last couple of plays. And he is in a lot of trouble again. Toxic opts for the mind game. Dark's quickly recovering though. Good defensive stand by Dark, but he's beaten to the mid boost. Dark needs to step up here if he's going to have a chance against a player of Toxic's caliber. Like I said, Toxic, one of the most consistent performers recently in the one scene. He's been a consistent top 15 worldwide for a while now, in my opinion. And you know, if Dark, like I said before, even if Dark does start to pop off and score the occasional worldie, Toxic's efficiency, his ability to create multiple chances, will probably have his number anyway. Well, that's another hard read on the fake kickoff. Look at how Toxic spots Dark's fake kickoff from a mile away, and he knows exactly what to do. He just wave dashes to accelerate alongside the ball, and then slots it in the bottom corner past Dark, who is just trying to get goal side. You know, when Dark isn't able to generate free possessions for himself, as he usually does with his fake kickoffs, he doesn't look as deadly. Doesn't look like he's got anywhere near the control that he usually has in a series. Toxic scores again, and he makes it look easy. Just barrels right through Dark. Doesn't even need an aerial bump, just a little pop and a demo at low altitude. And he's up 6-2. Just such an efficient player, Toxic. As soon as he gets the ball, he just figures out a way to quickly get it on target. Dark's in a world of trouble again. He has to stabilize, or we might see another early forfeit in the near future. Well, I don't think he expected to get past Toxic there, but that's what he's done. He's back within 3. Toxic picked up the mid boost, and he just jumped low into a challenge. Didn't expect Toxic, or didn't expect Dark to pop that ball. Thought he was going to try and continue to carry it. Mitchell Deere, thanks to the 17-month tier 1. Welcome back to the channel. Also, Mordak with a 23-month Prime and Proddy. Thanks for gifting us up to After a Pwn. Hope you guys are enjoying the Nations 1v1 format that we use for the Ones World Cup. Like I said earlier, this isn't a series that's directly attached to any other series or tournament in some way. But if this is a format that you guys do like to see in one-off instances, then definitely let me know what other matches you guys would want to see. The only one that I do have, hopefully, in the pipeline is USA against Brazil. I definitely want to see a Brazil 1v1 series, or 1v1 match in this format once Furia are back in North America. That would be my top priority. Yeah, there's plenty other countries I want to see. It's a good try there by Dark. He really got so much of a bounce on the pogo there. It never ceases to amaze me how much lift he's able to generate on his car. Everyone else playing in Manfield Night, he's playing in a bouncy castle. Looks to me like the difference between Dark's pogo attempts and anyone else attempting the same strategy is that Dark really throws himself at the ground. He really almost air rolls into the ground as he's bouncing to get as much of an impact as he can. Other players are a lot more cautious with it, a lot more careful. Oh, great acceleration by Dark. Toxic got the speed to get back to it. He does not. That's a lovely pre-flip by Dark, and Toxic underestimated the speed of the recovery. Try in Norway versus Sweden 1v1 match. I don't think there are enough Ones players in Norway or Sweden for that to be a thing. The other countries that weren't in the Ones World Cup that could be a standalone country are Italy. Italy's got a pretty solid roster. You got Davuf, Hyder, Dead Monster, Grama. They're all top 100 Ones players. So Italy's got a solid team. Yeah, I mean Belgium, sure. If there's if there's interest from Astral to play 1v1, then Belgium have got a team because they've got the Belgians player. There's 2 players who run by the name of Spider. One of them's from Belgium. So yeah, if Spider, Atto, and Astral if the team was literally those 3 players, that would work. I don't know if Astro's playing ones right now, though. And yeah, with Flakes, you know, kind of coming back to the one scene in an impressive way, that gives the Netherlands a team as well, because you've got, you know, Joria's, of course. Flakes recently performed very well. And then you've got other, you know, ones players out of the Netherlands that could round out that roster. Jesse, of course. But yeah, more recently, I think Oli's pretty solid in ones. You could also, you know, see a return to ones from Ocelon or Tho even. Even Mike Boy's had, you know, forays into the ones ladder as well. You know, there's plenty of options. So yeah, Netherlands is a standalone country, Belgium is a standalone country, and Italy are the 3 European teams that could be threatening. Not sure who else off the top of my head. Germany, yeah, Germany should be. Germany should be a bigger one, not just 1v1, a bigger Rocket League nation than they are. I'm kind of surprised that Germany didn't produce more, you know, Rocket League talent over the years at the highest level, because Germany way back in the day, if you guys were around for pre-RLCS days of Rocket League competition, Germany was one of the best countries. They had like numerous top level teams, you know, Pashi, Siki, Killer number 7, Yeezy. They were just a few of the names who were tournament winners from Germany. I'm sure there's more that I'm forgetting. They were very good initially. You know, players like Freaky out of Germany as well had good tournament results. These days, Raziers is, I'd say, the top guy in ones, but we've also got players like Catalysm in threes. I'm just, you know, I think Germany is untapped potential in the world of Rocket League. There just has to be so many ones players, or no, so many Rocket League players in the future from Germany, I imagine. That's a wonderful opening goal for Dark there. Just using the little fake run-ups there to great effect from Toxic's POV. It looked like Dark could be shooting that either way before faking it into the bottom corner. Yeah, who would be the one team for Germany right now? Obviously you'd have Raziers in there, but who else would be rounding out the roster? Not entirely sure. Don't know who the 3 highest rated German players are. But you know, when you've got Raziers on the roster, you've always got a chance. When you've got a player of that caliber and they're able to just hard carry a team winning 2 or 3 by themselves, you know you're in a pretty decent spot. Rizix, does Rizix play 1v1s? Well, it was a better start to the game this time by Dark, but Toxic's equalized already. Dark looking for a bit more of a useful impact than the bump there. Seemed like that one only helped Toxic accelerate back towards the ball. Ivan isn't from Germany, he's from Austria. And Toxic setting up that big flick again. This time he decides not to go for it. Looked like the setup was not quite right. You can really see that Toxic knows Dark's tendencies. He's so familiar with Dark's kickoff game. He's so familiar with Dark's early aggression. He's really capitalized many times this series. You didn't see that one coming though. Dark just darted downwards right into the ball, and Toxic was a bit slow off the mark. 2-1 Dark. Tox has a weirdly good matchup versus Moxie. Yeah, I wonder, Tox in ones. I think Germany would be decent in one. I mean, literally any mechanical 3v3 player can be good in ones, because these days 3v3 mechanics are a lot more transferable to ones than they used to be. Great mind game by Toxic. Dark got close to the ball after initially jumping past it, but Toxic was in the area. I don't think this is ever going to end well for Dark. It's very convincing by Toxic. He stayed next to the ball the whole time with a dodge. Dark has to watch the ball bounce slowly past him. Yeah, again, I'm sure a lot of you who were watching ones in 2017-18, even before then, will remember that aerials were considered, any aerial was, you know, initially when ones first came along, aerialing for any reason. Wall shot, not viable, too risky. Low aerial, no, not viable, too risky. Every aerial was considered not viable, unless your name's Cuxer. He was the only player who was scoring aerials in 1v1. But then as the years went by, more and more strategies became not just viable, but part of the meta in 1v1. So these days, 3v3 pros can switch and become, you know, switch into 1v1 and become good players a lot more easily than they could in the past. Simply because what you practice day in and day out, quick challenges, you know, 50-50s and big aerial plays, they all work in 1v1 these days. Oh, look at this. So Dark's managed to get a good outcome out of that fake kickoff in the slight offset spawn. He's done it every now and then, even though Toxic's had a good answer to it. The few times Dark has done it, he's still trusting it to work and keep Toxic guessing, and it really goes to show how important it is to just mix up your kickoff game. Even if something doesn't work the first time, doesn't mean you should never go back to it. You still want to mix that one in later on. Keep your opponent guessing. Toxic's actually missed off the back wall again here. He's had two complete whiffs in that area, one of them at ground level, one now as he tried to wall dash and then quickly flip into the ball. At least Dark finding himself in the best position he's been in yet. And look at this, he's got the fake kickoff to work again. Well, either Dark's managed to make that look even more convincing than ever. Oh, look at this. Pogo into a lob by Dark. That's unbelievable. Off the back of his fake kickoff, he scores his first Pogo of the series by lobbing it over the pre-jumping Toxic. There really was no way for Toxic to get close to that. Unbelievable placement. How often do you see a lob working from an aerial in 1v1? It just shows how dangerous that play is. If Dark doesn't pre-jump, then, or if Toxic doesn't pre-jump in defense, Dark can just wait a bit longer, maybe shoot the ball off the ground if Toxic backs up. If Toxic lunges in, Dark could just shoot it upwards. He's got so many options off the back of these plays. And that, for me, is what makes it completely competitively viable. Big kickoff win by Toxic. He's surely, no, misses. I was going to say surely back within two, but he missed. Now he'll have to work a bit harder for the goal. Still in a dominating position here. And Dark spots an opening. Toxic trying to slow the ball down. Dark just lunges in and takes it from him. Early reset lands. Dark's going to get back to the ball, steal the boost to the far side of the box. And now here comes the chain reset. There's two for Dark. He tries to catch the ball and roll it into the net, but Toxic gets goal side. And with a couple of wave dashes, he's going to score to make it a 2-goal game. Well, that was very underwhelming from Dark. After peeking just moments ago, you'd think that he would put something in towards the top corner, or maybe put something with a bit more of 50-50 backing it up onto Toxic's net. Another successful fake kickoff for Dark. Toxic spotted it at the last second, but it was already too late. He'd given the ball away. Dark lunges into the box and scores a 7th goal. Just a quick cut in field to reinstate that 3-goal lead. Can Dark hold on to it? It's by far his best performance yet. The first game where he's really got his fake kickoffs to work, the first game where he scored a Pogo. So it makes sense that it would be the first game that he leads in, and by a few goals as well. But Dark has not looked completely solid, even in this game. He's shown some signs of weakness. He's given Toxic some opportunities that perhaps he didn't need to. With less than a minute left, Toxic will need to go all in sooner rather than later, and that'll do. All he needed was one read on a fake challenge, followed up by an immediate flick. Toxic, they're rolling almost 90 degrees, more than 90 degrees into that one, generating so much power and just enough height Send it over the top of Dark, who tries to fake kickoff again and again. It works. Well, Toxiic read the first two that he tried. Oh, look at this. No way. Toxiic has scored a wall pitch from a really bizarre position. Oh, that's a decent outcome. I don't think he was really expecting a goal in this position. He certainly knows it's possible. But just when Dark thought he had control of the ball, just when he thought he'd have the next possession up on the play, Toxiic pinches it into Dark's corner and it bounces into the goal. Free flip from Dark. Toxiic responds to it, decides not to attempt a pre-flip of his own. He's got 30 seconds to work with here. No need to rush just yet with just one goal in it. Toxiic just lining up a back wall bump there, but Dark was on the wrong side of him. Dark just trying to stay on the ball here. Does not want to back down and give Toxiic a free run up. Toxiic will not be too happy with how the past 20 seconds have gone. Will he get one good chance on it before the end of the game? Dark has just refused to give him space to work with, and he confirms the Game 3 win. Dark not done, not swept. Trying to make the comeback happen for Saudi Arabia. Yeah, there was one match before this one. This is match, or this is, I shouldn't say match. I'm really trying hard to get to remember the correct words for how to describe this series. We've got one match that's potentially 5 series, anything between 3 and 5 series. And every series is between 3 and 5 games. So yeah, it should be quite simple to remember, but for some reason I'm having a hard time remembering to say that. I think it's because usually the words match and series are interchangeable when you're talking about competitive Rocket League, but in this format they're not, because the match is comprised of more than one series. So yeah, I keep getting it wrong. But we've had one series before this one, and it was a series that Saudi Arabia were able to win. Naupo took down, apparently, Jack in a very interesting series. But this one has gone the complete opposite path up until now. In the Naupo-Jack series, Naupo had a 2-game lead before Jack started to come back, put it into Game 5, and now Dark is trying to do the same thing to Toxiic, who started with a 2-game lead. A very strong 2-game lead, 2 forfeits in fact. So neither of those games ended up being too close once we got down to the final minute. Dark really up in his kickoff success. It's been a big component of his comeback here. Just getting more possession after kickoffs, denying Toxiic kickoff goals. He went a bit too all in there, thought he had an opportunity to score. But with a shot that slow, you're never really going to be a threat to a player like Toxiic, or any player for that matter. Another fake kickoff for Dark. Toxiic reads it, and Dark has misread the shot that Toxiic went for. You know, I don't hate that option by Toxiic. Usually, that will result in a possession play for the defender, but that shot was absolutely perfect. Looked like Toxiic spotted the fake kickoff immediately, and he was able to really send it towards the top corner instead of the more conventional placed shot that we see. He's up 3-2 now. Dark trying to keep his momentum. Oh, he went a bit too high into the challenge. Toxiic walks it in for 3-2. This stream and all my streams these days won't be available on past broadcasts until I'm done streaming, after which I will enable the VOD. So you'll be able to see the VOD later on Twitch if you want to. Yeah, usually not long after I'm done streaming. Oh, that's a great shot by Toxiic. He's not able to get back to the rebound though. Dark, oh, what a play by Dark. If this goes in, he's done very well here to say no to the corner boost. A lot of players would have been tempted to run to the corner boost here, but Dark realized that Toxiic was completely dead in the water and just went for the immediate shot. Toxiic thought he was going to have at least a chance to get back to this one. Instead, it's Dark tying the series, tying the game, I should say. YorisRL 69, thanks to the 5-month Prime, and also Moldy Midget, thanks to the 27-month Tier 1. The 6-month Tier 1 from Divkush, and Mitchell Deer with the 17-month Tier 1 as well. Appreciate the support in the stream, guys. Toxic punishes wayward touch from Dark. Dark was looking to play himself in on goal there, but he accidentally plays Toxic in on goal, hitting the ball a bit too sideways. If you're going to try that and your opponent's there, you really have to be careful not to hit the ball towards directly towards the sidewall, because you're just going to lose out in the race to it. And Toxic actually half-flipped the wrong way there. Interesting thing to note. Looks like he might not be comfortable half-flipping in both directions, so come on, Toxic, get into free play one day and learn how to half-flip both ways. You're definitely mechanical enough to do it. Like, this is one thing that I will always say, is that if you want to make your half-flip kickoff on a diagonal spawn completely bulletproof, you need to know how to half-flip in both directions. I can do it, and I'm a zero mechanics caster, more like negative mechanics caster. And there are numerous pro players worldwide who can't do it, which to me is shocking. Absolutely shocking. Luckily for Toxic, he's got more than enough in the redeeming qualities department to make up for that slight error. Oh, Dark's missed the corner boost, yeah. Running around the outside of it. Toxic up by 2 here, now that pressure really is on Dark. We've seen 2 games in similar kind of positions to this, and instead of Dark really threatening a comeback, he's very fortunate to get a double demo here. That's a great outcome for Dark, the ball being in his back corner. But he has to be so careful not to overextend in a moment like this and give Toxic a 3-goal lead, give Toxic a 4-goal lead. He needs to be calm. He needs to just wait for his opportunity, wait for his mechanics to break down Toxic's defense. That's what he's trying to do here, so credit to him. Toxic has been pretty solid, and again shuts the door on a near post shot. Dark turns early, knows that mid boost isn't going to be there for another couple of seconds. Not the best first touch. He tried to sneak it back on target. In fact, he did, but ended up being too slow. Dark still circling, looking for an opportunity. He's past Toxic again, but the bounce is a tough one to read. He does well to shoot that angle on target. Well, Dark wasn't sure if this was going to bounce off the inside of the post or just hit the back wall flush. It looks like it's the latter. Even after that happened, he was still able to wrap himself around the ball and sneak it on target to get back within a goal. Another fake kickoff from Dark. This one will be read by Toxic. Dark's trying to predict where the ball's bouncing. He's in a bit of a bad position though. Luckily, Toxic didn't really do too well with it either, and Dark beats him to it. Toxic with a pre-jump denies Dark the immediate goal, but it will be Dark's possession. And I think he'll fancy his chances from distance, but he has to accept a pretty early shot there. Not a lot of height on the air dribble. Early challenge works out for Dark, but Toxic catches him in the landing. Dark not going to get there. Toxic's up by 2 again. Perfect play from Toxic, realizing that Dark was about to land and be completely incapable of dodging even a slow-mo bump. Now, can Toxic close out the series and equalise for England? He's done well here again, 7-4. Just keeping the pressure on, flick on target. Quickly gets in front of the ball again to shield it on its path into the goal. And now Dark has it all to do. Minute and 5 seconds left. He's been far from efficient today. And he needs to be more than clinical now if he's going to come back. Pre-flip secures the boost in the back corner, but the possession for now, well, it was Toxic's, now it's Dark's, and he will score quickly. That's about as good of an outcome as he could have hoped for here. Toxic put himself in a very dangerous position there. Well, kind of allowed himself to be pit maneuvered by Dark as he tried to recover. Has Dark got the kickoff strats in the final minute? He's not been able to disguise his intentions in game 4 like he did in game number 3. Toxic up early here. The shot is wayward, and that will give Dark a good chance on the counter. One reset. Pogo is there. Looks like Toxic just flew right by the ball. He was expecting Dark to hit that. Dark actually didn't intend to hit it just yet. Toxic got back to the play, and a flick is going to be good for the 3-goal lead. Toxic spotted Dark advancing and slings the ball over him from distance. That will all but win the series for him. He just needs one possession from any of the next 3 kickoffs if we're even going to get that many. 25 seconds to go. Dark manages to force the ball past Toxic the first time of asking. Tries the impossible angle air roll shot. Toxic swats it away from the goal. Dark is still going to try and score quickly here, but Toxic knows better than to give him another shot on target and wins 3-1. Just too good, too solid. Really showing everybody how to deal with these tricky kickoffs that Dark brings to the table. Dark tried in every game of this series to surprise Toxic with those fake kickoffs, those delayed kickoffs, and Toxic just was not having it. He read the vast majority of them. The only game that Dark won out of this, out of the 4 games that were played here, was the one where he was able to disguise his fake kickoffs well enough to make them work. When they didn't work, Toxic wins every game.